Hi Anu, hi Blub, hi Change. I hope you guys are doing well. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna head on over to the gaming scene. No, if you don't stop rushing me, you have been rushing me for like the last couple of days. I'm about to I'm about to time you out of my chat, I promise you. Give me 1 second. I turned off the audio for this, so I need to turn it back on. There you go. A little bit down. Murphy, what are you doing behind my computer? We need to get groceries, but we will join your stream and karaoke later on. Yeah, of course. Feel free. Groceries are more important than me streaming, honestly. Yes, I am gonna bonk him. I'm about to time him out. She got a 0.5 millimeter plush boba tea. Oh, nice. But I hope you guys have been well. I'm actually very excited to play more of this. But the reason why I was so late, at least a little bit later today, is because, one, I was talking to one of my mods because I wanted to talk to them. Because I hadn't, I sound tired? Yes, I am tired. I woke up like an hour ago. Well, one, I had an important phone call that came in like an hour ago, which is nice because it was the response that I was expecting, which makes me very happy. But also, I was talking to one of my mods, and it's because this mod is my bestie. And I was like, I miss you. I want to talk before I do stuff. And I was like, yeah. We talked for a little bit and we caught up, and it made me very, very happy because I missed them a lot. So, your new job? Yeah, it was a call from my new job. So I'm gonna be starting later next month. So they were just making sure, like, hey, here's all the stuff you need to fill out. Make sure you get the emails and stuff like that. So it was good. It's nice to catch up with old friends. Yeah, it was nice. It made me very happy because I've known them for like a very, 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 very long time. Like, oh shit. Hold up a second. I just unhooked my mic stand. Why is that loose? I was just trying to move it. Oh, all of this is loose. Ah! I just smacked myself with my microphone. Give me a second. Oh my god. Why is all of this loose? Hello? Oh my god. Okay, we're better now. Oh my god. I literally just like smacked myself on the side of the face with my microphone. Holy shit. Ah! Recently I got back into talking with one of my childhood friends, and it's really nice and funny coincidence we're both into MXDX books now. Nice! That's good. I'm glad that you're able to talk to them and you guys are both have something in common. Your mic stand playing Dead by Daylight. My mic stand was about to take me out. That's what was gonna happen. Get a hammer and bonk it back into place. I didn't have to bonk it back into place. I just had to tighten stuff. Oh, that's not tightening it. That's loosening that. Because it's like, you know how it's like when it has the clamp? It was loose, and so I had to tighten it back onto my desk. But, oh my god. That's all good. I'm no longer going to, be attacked by my own microphone, hopefully. So, that is nice. No bonk. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. There's no bonk, but it's okay. Let me pull up the game, because I need to put it where I can see it. Nah, you're all good. Okay. Okay. I think I'm awake now. But I think we are good to go. One thing though, I will say this for anyone who wasn't here the day before when I was talking about karaoke. Song requests are going to be free. Like, you feel free to request a song after I finish my playlist. I have a couple of songs that I do want to sing primarily, so after that, if anyone has any songs that they want to suggest, feel free to. I'll probably add more songs that I have as well on there, so feel free to ask for songs that you want to hear me sing. I do prefer them to be in English or in Japanese if you know them. I will tell you that I will not be able to do my best with them, as I will be doing my best with some of the songs that I will be singing that I chose out. So quality may vary there, but I want you guys to at least feel free to have some songs chosen. This VOD will not be saved. Like, I'm not gonna like highlight it, put it into like a playlist or anything. Audio will probably be muted and stuff like that, just because, well, I can split the tracks. I feel like that's going to be a lot of effort to do that, because I already have to like pull up all the instrumentals and stuff like that. So it's all good. On you accidentally making a Star Wars joke. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and... Oh, thank you for the hydrate right before we start, actually. That'll be good. Oh yeah, all you guys is English is your second language, which is very impressive. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I was mainly just talking to kind of warm up my voice a bit, because I didn't actually warm up my voice a lot. Like, I talked to my friend and then I talked on the phone for about probably 30 minutes altogether, which isn't too bad, but it's like I still want my voice to warm up just a little bit. So, oh yeah, it's your third. I forgot. You know like 3 languages, Blub. Alright, but let's keep going. Yeah, this was the most recent one. We're still on chapter 1, by the way. And then... Oh, fuck, I forgot. Ah, shit! I moved literally a second. I forgot that we're in, like, this... We're on the 3rd floor up now. 3rd, 4th floor? No, 4th floor up. Alright. Something's in the water. What is it? What the hell is that thing? No clue. You don't know? And how the hell am I supposed to know? I see. Staring at something all day isn't gonna help you better understand it better. Now move it! Something is visibly submerged in the water. Okay. Oh. Oh, this place has a grave. Okay. You're parked, no worries. Okay. I was gonna say if you're in the car. Oh my god. Jack, chill, please. We are doing our best here. No, for real. We just came in here. It's like, oh, something's in the water. It's like, I'm not saying you should know what's in the water. We just got here. A grave. Oh, no wonder it smells like blood. Want to try digging it up? Whatever. Ugh. You're no fun. It's just a... Why? Alright, we'll see you guys when you come back. Bye-bye. It's just a grave. Do you want to get in it that bad? But this one won't do. It's already occupied. Something shiny can be seen in the grave. Reach for it. Huh? What the heck are you doing? What are you fumbling around there for? Is something down there? Yeah, you're smarter than me, so you're gonna solve all the puzzles in my stead. Still Zach when Rachel stands still trying to decipher a puzzle. Move. Yeah. He's just like, okay, solve it. Why aren't you solving it? I can't reach it. No, just do this. But the body. Its leg fell off. You got a key! Nice. Okay. It appears to be a gravestone with a name engraved on it. It appears to be a stone monument. There's nothing inscribed on the back. Is there something on the front? Graves of the impure. The pitiable unwanted by the Master and his angels. Await to be purified, plummeting to the depths and be buried in the ground. Okay. Door is locked. What are you waving the key around for? Oh, okay, wrong door. This one? Okay, yeah. No, I know. It's this one. Like, it's a rewrite of the game where the things go the same, but the characters are just different because it's a parody. Aside from Zach, Zach needs to stay the same because both here and in the parody, he will be the only reasonable person who's going to be like, what the fuck is everyone about? That makes sense. That seems like it would be a fun parody. Okay, doors open. Oh. Man, it's freezing in here. The air is damp and reeks of chemicals. I don't want to stick around here for long. Gotta find a way to get the hell out of here fast. It's an empty coffin. Ice chill pervades the air. It appears to be a gigantic freezer. The top door has been left open. There's a small piece of scrap paper inside. Watkin Beckett, 36. POD, B3. Cause of death, blood lost from bullet wound. Mr. Beckett had the B4 key on his person, but it is yet to be found. It appears he lost it. Due to severe injuries, use caution when handling. An arm was lost while being cleaning a tank. This guy died? Yep. It says B3, so safe to assume he died there. We're on B4, which means there's still more floors above. Like this parody, I imagine Rachel being the stereotypical modern-era teenager who's too much on her phone and posts on social media things she shouldn't. Like posting a video of her being chased by Zach on B6 on Instagram and making typical Gen Z jokes. Oh my goodness. Are you familiar with this place? Well, I guess you could say that. I'm just here because someone told me I could kill whoever I want. The same goes for the guys on the other floors too, huh? Even if I'm not up on the details. I see. Oh man. Messing with the graves earlier made my hands rink and all gunky. Still an empty coffin. Oh goodness. 1 second. Excuse me. Zach being enrolled into the job sounds so fucking funny the way he says it. Yeah, he's like... Yeah, they said I could do whatever I want. What about these other fridges? Locked fridge. Locked fridge. Locked fridge. Anything here? Oh? The wall's crumbling. This place is damp and turned into shambles. What a dump. There's a crack in the wall which has created a hole. Peering into the hole reveals a space on the other side, but it's too dark to see anything. Okay. What's this? Cleanse thyself. The master expects a pure soul and body. Well, I don't think we can do anything there. We don't have anything. We can't get in here because we don't have a key. What's down here? Door's locked. We don't have a light, so... Maybe it's still something in there? Unless there's something here. Upon peering inside the grave, their eyes met. Dark cover pickaxe, graves. There's nothing else in there, I don't think. So I can't take a light. Oh! Oh! He needs to rinse off his hands. That makes more sense. I was like, wait a second. That makes more sense. You can rinse off your hands here. Oh. Okay. That's a tad better. Huh. Something shiny is in the water. Key! You got a key! Graveyard, 1 key. Okay. What's here? We'll try this one. Guess this key's not for here, huh? Okay. Not this one, I guess. Hey, bestie, what did you come into the basement of my deserted building? You can kill whoever comes in if you do. Sure, man, that sounds like a good and normal time. He's very normal. He's very normal, and I like him. Alright, graveyard. Nice. Next one. Another grave. One after another. Why the hell would you need so many graves in a building, in a place like this? Building, place. The Holy Land of the Coveted. Those that the Master coveted, those pure angelic adorers, and those exceptional. Shall lay thyself to rest for this magnificent privilege. But heed my words. Wicked souls that betray the Master shall be damned here in eternal hell. Okay. Gravestone with the name engraved on it. It's here. There's a deep hole in the ground. There's an odd-looking stone. What's this? There's a new gravestone. A name is meticulously graved onto it. Huh? What's wrong? Something's written on it. Name's written on it. Duh. All gravestones have names on them. What are you freaking out over? Oh. It says Rachel Gardner. Oh. That's... Oh, what do you mean that's her grave? That's... my name. My name is written on it. No way. So mine's written on this one? Shit. What is it with this fucked up, horrible place? Hey. Hey! Don't stare at the gravestone. No offense, but I have no intention of dying with you. Okay, we're getting the hell out of this place, one way or another. Oh my god. There's a fairly large crack in the wall. There's a weird hole here. I'm not gonna fit in there. Guess we're out of options. How about I go? Huh? You're just saying that so you can bolt. I won't run. Not until I'm killed. Damn, you've been giving me the creeps for a while. Enough about that. At any rate, we can't just sit here and do nothing. Go take care of it. Oh. If you die, then give me a "I'm dead" to let me know. Yes, if I die, I will say I'm dead and let you know that I am dead. Yes, Zach, I will let you know that while I am dead, I'm dead. Absolutely, 100%. We love to see it. Also, just accepting this job, it kind of implies that Zach has not been able to kill anyone since he's been here because people kept escaping his floor. Because he's dumb and can't follow them because of the rules. Like, he was obviously faring better killing people when he had no rules nor a superior or co-workers. Yeah, seems like he was doing a better job there without working with people. I can't if I'm dead. Shut up. In that case, at least be useful before you die. Damn, don't shove a little kid. Alright, I'm gonna save here, just in case. Mate, Zach, you're already killing people. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're already doing that. Alright, let's go in. Oh, this is a hallway. Oh. Oh, there's stuff here. Hold up. I'm gonna save there. There's a torch inside the box. Oh, nice! Torch. This still might be of use. This might still be of use. Hello, Hex. Hi, bird! Hello. Oh, God. Hi, bird. Nothing inside the box. A design for a gravestone is written on the sheet. It appears to be an inventory for gravestones. Something is written in a child's handwriting. I first learned of that kid. I've always been curious. But I didn't know her for the longest time. I longed to see her, but that bastard's always in the way. She has such a beautiful voice. Must be so lovely. She must be. I mean, that's why I fell for her overnight. Thank you for the hydrate and the posture check. I am gonna have to be drinking a lot of water today. Oh, God. Oh, dear. I gotta make something special for her. Gotta think of something special. Only for her. A place of eternal rest. So someone came up with a tombstone design for her because they fell for her. You caught a bug? Nah, I didn't catch a bug. It's just I'm gonna be reading a lot, and I'm also gonna be singing later today, so I need to drink a lot of water. Make sure my throat is in good condition. Because it's very easy for me to start singing and then fuck up my throat. So I need to make sure that I'm just doing okay. I'll try to remind you often. Feel free to ignore some of my redeems if they seem too many. Thank you! I'll probably keep an eye on them just because I have... just because I do need to drink more water in general. And I need to get a little bit more to the habit of drinking water more often. Your throat gonna be fighting some demons, God bless. Yeah, I'm gonna be fighting a couple demons. Also, sorry, I was responding to a message I had got. Not me typing in the chat by accident. There we go. But yeah. I'm excited though, because I never really do karaokes. I just sing on my own time, and then I sing, I practice singing well, but I don't sing very well. So I'm like, But this time I'm actually gonna do my best with this. There's a gravestone design schematic, but appears to be a child's handwriting. Huh? There are other schematic X documents, but I have no idea what they're for. It appears to be an order form for shovels, hammers, and pickaxes. There's a bunch of stuff here. There's soiled clothing and gloves inside. Soiled clothing and gloves inside. What appears to be numerous shovels and tools are inside. There's a new gravestone. New gravestone. 1 second. Okay. Okay. We're good. Oh, the door is tightly shut. There's no keyhole. There's a lot of them all jumbled together, but none of them really look like a clue. This is a dead end too. What to do? Guess I'll go back for now. I'm not gonna lie, those closets look like eyes. Hey, what is he doing? Also, you have a torch, you can go in the other hole. What are you trying to do, dude? What's up? This gravestone gets on my nerves. I want to smash it to bits. Your weapon would probably give way first. Shut up! You don't think I know that? Never mind that. Did you find anything on the other side? The passage leads to a room that winds around to the right. There was a door there, but it was locked, so I couldn't go any further. The door has no keyhole, so I think there must be some kind of mechanism that opens it. You don't say. He is trying to fight a rock, and I'm just like, sir. Well, keep looking. Okay, but could you look here too? What? Door mechanisms and I don't get along. Yeah. Fine, now go. Okay. Got something else to report? Do me a favor, and don't destroy my grave. Who gives a flying fuck? A way to open the door. Wait a sec. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I jumped up out of my chair. I thought my cat was drinking the fucking soapy water. No, he's laying down. I got so concerned for a second. I heard water running. I was like, oh god. I like jumped out because I heard water. I was like, that's not you, is it? No, it's his running water fountain that I have for him. Yeah, that was just a straight heart attack moment for a bit. Oh, goodness. Okay, we're good. A way to open the door. Come to think of it, there was some sort of strange schematic earlier. I wonder. Let's see. The schematics under here, they're different than the others. I suspect this is a clue for the mechanism? The sequence of squares. That punk. Lock mechanism? Where the hell am I supposed to look for that? The only thing around here is graves. But I guess I can't just sit here all day. Fine, I'm game. I'll just have a look around and take in the morbid sights. Man, this grave is freaking annoying. Nothing would make me happier than to smash it. But as the little shit said, that'll ruin my blade. Imagine Angel of Death where Rachel is Neku and Zack is Joshua. That would be so chaotic. Good god, that would be a whole fucking lot. Maybe while I'm at it, I'll pick up something that could smash it. Oh! Oh, I'm playing as him now. Okay. Wait, what do you have? Nothing. Okay. Grave with a name. Grave with a name. Deep hole. Grave. 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 Bro's still hanging up on the stupid rock? Yeah. Grave. 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 Nothing on the back. My words. I read this. Grave. 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 I don't see anything. No. That kid's grave, huh? Damn, even the letters are carved into it. Mine doesn't have that. Well, even if it had them, I couldn't read them anyway. There's nothing else here. Like, I don't think there's anything else. Odd looking stone. Ah, shit. I so want to smash some graves. But as little shit said, that'll ruin my blade. Maybe while I'm at it, I'll pick up something that can do the job. There's nothing here to pick up. I mean... Oh. Oh, I can go out of here. Pickaxe? Oh, okay. Oh, this'll do nicely. Okay, so I did have to get the pickaxe. Let's try pulverizing that gravestone with this. Oh, I think that's a bad idea. But okay. Oh god. That scared the shit out of me. God damn, it just won't break. Nope. Now that's what I'm talking about. This damn rock giving me trouble. For a shitty gravestone, you sure put up a tough fight. Oh, it just occurred to me. The other gravestones are now fair game too. Oh my fucking god. He's insane. He's insane! He said, I'm breaking all of these motherfuckers. Oh my god. Well, they break as easily as Tinker Toys. Oh my god, the soundtrack fucking goes ham for this. I love it. I'll keep smashing them till I feel better. Alright, I guess. Oh. He's insane. Oh. Rozak, the dead under those gravestones have done nothing to you, bro. Yeah. They've done nothing to him. He's just like, fuck you and fuck your mom too. Whoever made this grave, take that. Oh my god. How about I smash all of the graves on this floor while I'm at it? I mean, graves are just for a bunch of stupid-ass corpses. Is this grave? Oh well, doesn't matter. Wait. I am not smashing Rachel's. Oh, all of them are free game. Yeah, he said all of them are free game, I guess. Almost there! He just said, I'm gonna have fun with it. Oh my god. In the English dub of this anime, Zack makes a yo mama joke to the serial killer on the floor. Oh my god. Nice. Ugh, is this all of them? Huh? I wish I could tell you I was shitting you, but I'm serious. That's funny. Oh my god. He really just went on a break. He really just went, okay, I'm gonna break all of this till I feel better. Why was I breaking this again? What was I doing again? Oh yeah, the mechanism. I was so busy smashing that I wasn't keeping an eye out. Was there something? Maybe it wouldn't hurt to take a look. God, he's so slow now. Oh my, oh, there was something. Okay. The gravestone is broken to pieces. Some sort of switch is visible in the debris. Huh? The sequence of squares. There's 16 of them, and a calculation for them is written below. Is this referring to the graves? What's that awful sound I've been hearing all this time? If this is the graves, then by matching them up with the calculation with them, just maybe something will happen here. What the heck is that sound? The door in the back's open? Did he open it? Yes, he did. Let me save. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Alright. Let's go. The door is unlocked. How did he find the unlock mechanism for this? By breaking things. It's dark. I gotta turn on a light. Oh god, this is super dark. Oh, there was a kid giggling. I do not like that. There's a document with someone's name and work history written on it. It appears to be a resume. Numerous books are lined up side by side. Another resume. There's a felt tip pin. There are numerous filed resumes. Watkin Beckett. This name. I saw it earlier. Are these resumes of everyone who's come here? And just as I thought, it looks like this guy died here. An unfiled resume slipped out below the files. Resumes are scattered about. This one has my name on it. It talks about me in great detail. Zach is really expressive, his expressions, despite the fact that his face is 99% covered by bandages. Yeah, he has a lot of expression. There's another one. This one's someone else's. Thank you for the hydrate. Isaac Foster. Date of birth unknown. Estimated age 20s. In childhood, there's evidence that he was placed in an orphanage. The institution was unauthorized, therefore details surrounding it are unknown. Possible trafficking. The Institute was later charged for substandard living conditions, but Isaac Foster was already missing by then. Concurrently, the bones of several children were found in the institution's yard. Moreover, also found is what believed to be the slaughter of the bodies of the proprietors. Oh, posture check while I redeem hydrate. I'd redeem for both, but I'm saving points to help you drink more at the moment. Thank you! I'll try to make sure that I'm sitting up straight. Thank you, I appreciate it. There's a large gap between the period of death for the slaughtered children and proprietors. Based on the slash wounds of the body inside the institution, the suspect is believed to be Isaac Foster. The whereabouts of Isaac Foster are currently unknown. However, he is involved in a series of psychotic murders taking place in State Redacted several years later. The murder scenes extend to several locations. No obvious disposition for rituals at the time of the crime, however, has a tendency to strongly react to human emotion. Sometimes we gotta sit straight because we as people are already gay enough. Very true. That is so true. Sometimes you have to sit up straight because that is the only straight thing that will be about you. Possesses great physical prowess, but is poor at planning, lacks education and intelligence. Damn, they really just said he's great, but he's kind of stupid. Damn. Further, his entire upper body is bandaged due to burns that are believed to have been sustained during his stay at the facility in childhood. Edit. Was originally assigned to B6, but was originally assigned to B6, but was reassigned due to rule violation. Cause of death, blank. Victims, blank. Huh. This is probably him. Is this heterochromia? Yeah. He committed murder at the institution where he lived. No, he committed murder at the institution where he lived and is a serial killer. Has he been murdering people here ever since? The cause of death and his victims are blank. If I die, then my name will go here. He's on the run now, though. I wonder how many he's killed. I'll take this back to him for the time being. He can't read, Rachel! He can't read! There's no reason to take it back. He can't read! Come to think of it, I haven't looked in the back of this room yet. More papers. More papers. Oh god. I can make out something in the back. Is it a door? It wouldn't hurt to check. I'm saving. I don't trust that. Huh? What's this hollow spot? If I stand on top of here, a switch sounds. But nothing happens. The door is tightly shut. And there's no keyhole. There's some sort of mechanism-like hollow spot on the floor, but standing on it doesn't open it. You probably need something to put in there. There's nothing here. Stop! I hate that kid laughing. Is somebody there? I know what you desire. I like you, so I'll make you lovely. After all, this is my domain. Let me out of here. This floor's... Hey! What are you fucking around for? Hurry up! better head back for a bit. Yeah, let me out of here. Get me out of here. And the paper straight up say that he didn't know how to read or write. I mean, I know he can't, I just don't remember if Rachel knew yet. She doesn't know yet. But I think she would have figured it out by, like, knowing that he couldn't read her tombstone. He's like, why are you freaking out? And it's like, oh, that... It's like, it's my name on there. And it's like, you're serious? But I'm pretty sure she doesn't know. That's the cops coming from Zach, if you can hear that. What's this? What took you so long? What the hell were you up to? I should ask you the same. And any news? Beyond the door in the back right, there is some sort of archives room. Damn, why coming for Zach when Danny was with Rachel last episode? True. There's another door in the back of that room, too. It also had no keyhole and was shut. Huh? Another one? Oh, and I found this. Huh? A resume. A resume? What's written on it? It's about me, Rachel Gardner. That's worthless bullshit. All it does is tell your story, nothing more, nothing less. Also, there's also one for some guy named Isaac. Is that you? And? What are your impressions from reading that? Yep, that's right. I'm Isaac Foster. Your impressions? Nothing special. It's a sheet of paper about you. Nothing more, nothing less. Are you not afraid of me? Girl is unbothered. Yeah, she is like, yeah. I met you like several hours ago and you were chasing me around trying to kill me. What is this gonna do? Afraid? No, I'm not. A girl like you once said the same thing a long time ago. At first she was afraid, but once she got wise to me being the serial killer in the newspapers, she started acting different towards me. Then she wouldn't shut the hell up. I'm not afraid of you, or I'm your biggest fan. It was cute, so I gave her a 5-second head start instead of the usual 3. Too bad she didn't get far. So when I tried to kill her, she went batshit crazy. I didn't know what the hell to make of it, so I told her to hold still if she wasn't afraid. Then she screamed that she only said that because she feared for her life. I guess the dumb bitch thought she could ass-kiss her way into surviving, eh? I hate liars. So, I killed her. Is that story supposed to relate to my request to have you kill me? Eh? If I took the same approach, could I get you to kill me? Oh yeah, you gave me 3 seconds, not 5. Are you fucking crazy? Ugh. Oh shit, that's right. This bitch wants me to kill her. So her not being afraid means... What's wrong? Nothing. You know I'm a serial killer now, bro. I've been knowing that since I met you. We are working together because I want you to kill me. Why the fuck should I be scared? I realize another reason why Zach is so off-put by Rachel's is because she's probably the first suicidal person he met. Yeah. He's just like, wait, you actually want to die? And she's like, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. So wait, aren't you afraid of me? I don't even know you very well. Know me? You read the paper, didn't you? What are you, illiterate? I read it. But I just met you earlier, so... I still don't know much about you, therefore I have no interpretation of you. Have it your way, then. Oh, and is that all? There was a mechanism in front for the door, but I believe there's probably another one, so I'm gonna take a look around here. I see. Oh, and something else. You're still not done? I heard a voice. I think it's from the master of this floor. Oh, her eyes changed again. The voice said it knows my desires. You don't say. Hey, let's move. Now, before we go. I just gotta smash this one too before it drives me up the fucking wall. Wait. Huh? This one's a stubborn one. Sorry, I'm OCD like that. This gravestone being the only one left was bugging the shit out of me. Hey, let's head out. There's no grave for you here. Once we get out of the basement, I'll find you a nice one. That's a very sweet yet weird sentiment. It's like, I'll find you a nice grave once we get the fuck out of this place that's trying to kill us. I already understood that Zack is creeped out by her wanting to die and being seemingly numb inside, things that specifically children should never be if the world acted like the world should act. I never realized he probably never knew the concept of someone actually being suicidal in the first place. True. Oh. There's a small note. Let me help you. Hey, you find something? It's nothing. Oh, there's another note. Zack has been through a lot, but the way he reacted was clinging to survival instead. True. Oh. If you want to suffer, I'll make it painful. If you want to go without pain, I'll be gentle. Whichever way you prefer. Rather modern. There's a small note. Hey, how do you want to die? What do you keep stopping for? It says, I'll gladly kill you. Something is floating in the water. Is that what I think it is? Oh, that? What are we gonna do about it? I'm not sure, but But I want you to go in there and stand in the submerged hollow area. In water? In the water? You want me to do what? If you're gonna cry about it, then. Hey, I didn't say I wasn't gonna do it. Unlike you, there's no way in hell I'd die in a place like this. You've been silent as shit this whole time. Anyways, don't get any crazy ideas about me dying or being killed. I'm not gonna be stuck here any longer than I gotta be. Are you really gonna kill me? I'm such a nobody. If you want to die so bad, then why not just kill yourself? Because it's unforgivable. Huh? Why is that? Because it's will of God? Hell if I know. Well, even I'm not entirely sure. But if it's the word of God, then it must be absolute. It's unforgivable. Oh, God says so, huh? In that case, you gotta prove your worth to me before I can kill you. What do you want? Make yourself useful. Also, if I'm gonna kill you, can you try to make it worth my while? Show anger, or cry for your life. Religious guilt be like, no, for real though. Oh my god. The religious guilt be fucking, it be for real. Hydrate? Yeah, I will. Let me sit up as well. If there's one thing that is a constant between some people, it is the guilt of religion and trying to also get through life without feeling like you're obligated to be a part of religion at some point. And also being like, not having people question why you don't have faith or why you have faith and stuff like that. Good God. There's so much that has to go into that. Oh my god. Show anger? It's in the walls. It is! It's in the walls! It's everywhere. It's in the goddamn walls! I felt some religious guilt for some time because of my anxiety disorder. I cannot begin to talk about my religious guilt because of the fact of the way that I exist. I feel like many had it worse, so I can't complain. Yeah, I understand. Oh boy. Bruh. Me just existing was religious guilt because of the way that I had to hear, oh, the Bible says this, this, and this about people who are like A, B, and C, or X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, ugh. I'm still Christian as well, just healthy about it. As long as you're healthy about it and also you're not like placing judgment on people when you have no place to judge, then that's fine. There's right ways to go about religion and there's wrong ways to go about religion. And that's for every kind of religion. It's just, oh boy. I just need people to understand that. Luckily, I was never being gay is wrong or stuff. I'm glad. Thou shalt not hold a man's hand romantically. That's exactly what I was thinking. That is exactly what I was thinking. Good God. You know, facial muscles to show emotion. You sure you're not dead already? I'm alive, so I want you to kill me. Fine, fine. Hey, can you give me a smile? Smile. How's that? You're dead in the eyes. Yeah, that's no good. What are we wasting time on this crap for? Hey, so I just need to stand on top of that thing over there? Well now, hurry and get over there already. Get over there already. It's cold and gross over here. Okay. I gotta head back to the place earlier with the hollow spot and stand on top of it. Alright. My religious guilt kicked in later in life and lasted shortly. It was only my anxiety and the internet's fault. Man, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Wait, oh, okay. I forgot. I can sprint. I forget that every single time. Blech. Let's go. Oh my god, more notes. But you're in a better spot now, and that is what matters. And I am proud of you for getting through what you had to get through. There's a small note. Don't be startled. You know why. Because we are one and the same in our desires. You're chill and help me out of it. That's good. Here's a small note. I shall grant you what you desire, but I've got my own desires as well. If possible, I want you to devote yourself to me. I mean, isn't it great being in love? I know all about you. You want to die, right? Right? So, just say yes. Door unlocked. Oh my god, I hate that giggle. That giggle that is unsettling. Thankfully, I was born into a religious family that doesn't judge others, and we are quick to call bullshit. That's good. Is there a light on in here? Shit. How long do I gotta stay in the water for? Hey. Feels like something rang under my feet. Huh? That means I can move now, right? He's got wet pants. Wonder how she's doing. Guess I'll head back to the hole she went in. Oh, shit. Huh? Huh? What the? Looks like some dumbass forgot to pay the electric bill. Damn rat trap of a place. That scared the shit out of me. She's still not back. What the hell's inside there anyway? If that bitch bolts on me... Nah, that won't happen. What the hell is up with her anyway? Won't run... and all emotionless? Yeah, killing her would be boring as fuck. Stop. I'm soaking wet, so you're horny. No, idiot. I was standing in the water for several minutes. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my god. Apart from that dead-eyed stare, she almost looked alive back there. I'm about to go out of my mind. Not again. Oh, are you freaking serious? It's pitch black. Who's there? You grave desecrator. Huh? Howdy, Zach. Oh, it's the kid. Oh, it's Eddie. I had a nice spot for you with everyone else, but you ruined your own grave? You're insane. I literally said he was nuts. I literally said this earlier. That may be, but don't you think mine was a piss-poor excuse for a grave? No. Oh god. Damn you. Sorry. Due to the circumstances, yours was a bit of a rush job. The hole's only half dug. But your tombstone's just fine. It fits you to a T, if you catch my drift. How about I make your grave first? Well, enough about you. I'm more interested in getting that girl's grave finished. I'm in love. It's always the same thing. Making graves for murder victims day in and day out. I was getting a touch bored. Sure, making graves is my passion, but the bodies that occupy them aren't not quite as lovable. Beauty is what they lack. But for that girl, I want nothing more than to make the grave of my dreams for her. I think we're around the same age, too. Most of all, I want to show her I understand her. We're made for each other. That should be infinitely more beautiful than some sloppily mangled corpse. Oh. Should she blah blah blah. Oh. Should she desire it, sloppy is perfectly fine too. Are you trying to make me hurl? What? My sophistication makes me the perfect match for her. Too bad I can't say the same for you. I mean, although breaking other people's graves is bad, wrecking your own that wasn't made by someone who wants to kill you isn't wrong. Yeah. This dude's like a nice guy, but make it serial murderer. Yeah. That's why the one taking her life will be me. Sounds like some little punk doesn't know his place. Shit! I can't see my hand in front of my face. OMG, they're fighting over her. They're fighting over who's gonna kill her. How funny. Like I said, he's batshit insane, but he's also still the voice of reason in this game. He really is. Why is one of the most insane people the loudest voice of reason in this game? Gotta love it. Fucking punk. Damn him. Hey, get your ass back here. It's cold. It won't open. Bruh. Like, this one dude is talking about killing Rachel because he's in love with her, and Zach is like, in what world killing someone you're in love with makes to make her yours is a sign of affection? Yeah, it's like, huh? That doesn't make sense at all. I guess something's wrong with the torch. There it goes again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Stop. Is it running low on juice? Just stop. Let me get to my destination. Ah, Jesus. Oh, God. Hey, Rachel. I'll grant you your desire. What's that? What is in here? The temperature and heat are displayed. Some sort of fan is running. Oh, water. Oh. It appears to be a temperature-controlled device. And has a bar for adjusting the water temperature. Oh, what the fuck? There's a thermostat displaying the water temperature. The temperature is quite low. Now I feel a bit guilty for making Zach get in the water. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll raise the water temperature. If I raise this... Rachel, no! Huh? The lights. Ah! Don't act so surprised. The one talking to you this whole time is none other than me. There's no need to run. I won't fly off the handle and kill you like the others. Besides, I know what you desire. My desire. Yes, that's right. No worries, I know everything about you. Your father and mother, those close to you, everything. If it were me, I'd take your life as painlessly as possible and even make the perfect grave for you. Plus, look at you. Look at me. You and I are even around the same age. Practically made for each other. What are you so silent for? Please, Rachel. Please say yes. Hey, get back out here. I said get your ass back out here now. Shit. Can she not hear me? How freaking far did she go in? This grave digging dip shit, thinking he can outwit me. That punk. He's in love with her and wants to kill her himself. That makes me want to puke. Can't have her go dying on me yet. She mentioned something about another room in the back on the right. Wasn't there a crumbling wall in the room on the right side? Guess I'll take a look. Alright, let's go. No, I know it says morgue. I'm not trying to go there. There's a crack in the wall. See, she still somewhat cares about people sometimes, like the bird and now Zach. I feel like when she attaches herself to someone, her platonic love language is acts of services or something, taking care of the person and animal in question. I feel like when she attaches herself to something, it's like she wants to show, like, yes, I do care, even if I can't express it. Like, expressions and words can go a lot farther, but it's like, since she doesn't have those actively available, or at least are able to do it as easily, she's like, okay, I'll do this. This works, right? It's, not here. Oh, there it is. Hey, can you hear me? Are you there? Rachel, what's troubling you? Go on, tell me your desire. I want to die. Look, I told you so. Rachel, let me put you out of your misery. So, will you say yes? I'm getting impatient. Could it be his doing? Tell me, why are you with Zack? I promised to let him kill me. What? That's so messed up. I even offered to kill you myself, too. But if I let you, then he won't be able to get out of here. Is that all? That shouldn't be a problem at all. Hey, can you hear me? Are you there? Looks like Loudmouth's here. Choose who will be your killer. Him or me? My sweet Rachel, let me lovingly put you to rest. Sophisticated? More like medicated. You're gonna kill her with that boring look on her face? What a fucking idiot. Oh, will you shut up? Me and Rachel are talking. Hey, can you hear me? I'm not talking to the grave digging dipshit. I'm talking to you. Me? Yes, you. Listen up. Don't think for 1 second that you can die out of your own will. There's plenty of people in this building who'd love to kill you. But I'll have the honor. I swear to God. To God? Uh-huh. So make sure nobody else gets to you first. Oh, but the music upbeat on this, I love it. I love it because it's like very small shred of hope because of the fact that her wanting to die and her not being unable to kill herself and it tying to God. It's like, oh, this is who is supposed to kill me. This has to be the person who kills me. This is so, it's kind of fucked up, but I love it. Because as he learns to care about her, she's like a fucked up found family, so we won't unnecessarily hurt her, but Zack also has no unhealthy obsession with Rachel. Yeah, this is kind of fucked up, but this is really good. I actually like this a lot. The uptick in music in this is really good. Okay. Rachel? Hit that wall as hard as you can. Pray. Oh god, he made it through. Chill. Where'd that fucking punk go? Why, Rachel? Is it so wrong for me wanting to kill you? Of course it's wrong, you fucking moron! My, you are so vicious. Rachel, do you want him to kill you? He'll definitely bungle it up. Why not let me instead? I'll do a pristine job. Shut the fuck up. Show yourself so I can tear you apart. Rachel, you are mine to kill. Ah? Homeboy, what are you doing? Can you wait for me till then? Damn. That bastard bolted on me. You're just as much as a spineless whip yourself. You'll be dead before I even have a chance to kill you. I'm glad you liked it. I'm just like, bruh, please. Yeah. Huh? Like I said before, if you're gonna die, then at least make yourself useful first. If I do, then you'll kill me, right? That's what I've been saying. What you said earlier. God. You said God. Yeah. To God. You said that you swear to God. Is what you said true? You'll swear to God for me? You swear to God you'll kill me? For God's sake, yes! Now quit pestering me! I hate liars! I see. Gotcha. I'll do everything I can to make myself useful to you. And we're good. So, what's the plan now? You're gonna die before I even get to kill you, the fuck? Not gonna lie, bro, you ain't wrong. I'm literally 13 in a building full of serial killers and death traps. I don't know what you expected. It's like, the possibility of me dying before you get to kill me is very high. I don't know what you were expecting out of me. It's also funny that the messed up fact that Zach probably meant it as a figure of speech because he canonically isn't religious, but Rachel held on to it because of her religious guilt/obsession. Yeah. I heard the sound of a door open earlier. I think it might be the door below here. That kid is waiting. Or so he said. Alright. You're gonna save. And it's been like hour and a half, but it's almost 1. And I said that I was gonna do karaoke at 4, so I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a break. Well, I'm gonna see if I can finish this floor, actually. I'll finish this floor, and then once I'm finished, I'm gonna give myself a break, get some food, get some water, warm up my voice a bit for singing, and then we'll do the karaoke. I really had expected to do this earlier, but I think it'll probably be best for me to take a break after this and just warm up my voice a little bit more. At least after finishing this. Oh god. And before I forget, let me save. Alright. The risk I took was calculated, but damn, did I never learn about math. Mood. Oh? The power room. You're actually really close to the ending of this floor and therefore the chapter. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. Let me drink a little bit more water. We'll finish this up and then I'll go take a break and we'll be back around 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. EST for karaoke. Yeah. Funny enough, it still smells like dirt here. What in the hell? More graves? Hey, don't get any ideas about going into any more holes. I said I wouldn't kill myself. I suppose you did. Like, there's only this boss fight of sort, and then y'all take the elevator, that's it for the chapter? Okay. Anyways, I got no intention of sticking around this dirt dump. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, why are you going off without me? Wait. Bro! Hey. What's your name again? Rachel Gardner. Oh. I'm taking you along for my own personal gain. Man, is it a pain in the ass having you around. Right, Ray? Hello, we meet again. Out of my way, fucking brat. What makes you think I gotta do what you say? Yeah, bestie, we just talked about how easy it is for me to die. Why are you running off without me? Hey, Rachel. Are you sure you don't want me to do it? Do you even know anything about who this guy is? He has no passion for grace and a slovenly past. I read about his past on a document earlier. Then what's the problem? Why choose him over me? I can kill you too, you know. He swore to God that he'd kill me. That alone is everything to me. Who's this high and mighty God? That's crazy. This so-called God of yours never told me any of this. No such freedom exists in this place. The only freedom we're given is for our actions on our own floors. And that is the right to kill. You're not the one who will kill me. You hear that? How you like that, fucking brat? Literally, Eddie said Ray, and then Zach broke into the wall and said, "Chill. You know her name. I hate lies. Explain why you lied then." Oh, how dreadful. I just wanted to bury you, preserving your beauty. Don't you know? Graves are dark, cool, and comfy. At the very least, let me take you there. Oh my god. No! You worthless hellion! Shut up! It's not like you're any different from me, just another murderer. Speak for yourself. For all your physical strength, you still haven't been able to catch anyone with that empty head of yours. Unable to kill anyone, you're just a useless, angry mess. That's rich coming from you. Bro, why are you talking about you slept in a coffin? Do you want to talk about it? We're all here for you. Okay, turning a coffin, or at least like a casket, into a bed, I will say is kind of cool. So if he has done that, I will say that's one for him. That is one for him, and I can support him with that, because coffin beds look pretty cool, I will say. You're the one who's desperate. Just a frustrated little dipshit who couldn't kill a fly is all you are. Psh, give me a fucking break. Shut your trap, you idiot. As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist. I'm after Rachel, not you. Oh my god. Rachel, I'll seal you eternally in a lovely casket of stone. Ah, damn it! Not again. Where the hell are you? Why? Why? I mean, he's a kid, but also why? You're like a turd that won't flush. I must kill Rachel. Watch out. This game has no continues. Rachel, go on ahead without me. You said something about a power room, right? It should be somewhere around here. Go turn the power on. Okay. Wait, Rachel. Oh, God. Okay, so I can probably die here. Battery's almost dead. I gotta hurry. Huh? I can't go back. I gotta hurry and turn... God, I know. VOD, hobo and ground. Where are you, Rachel? Oh my god. I fucking hate this. Oh god, no, not this way. Ah, so that's where you are. Oh my god. The light won't come on. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, this is annoying. Damn it! Oh, this is annoying as fuck. Okay. That's annoying. Okay, this is gonna take a second. We're almost there. I think you were just in the right path. Okay. Come on. Oh my god. Okay. I know where I need to go. Are you? Shut up. Okay. Oh, there we go. Found it! Okay. So you will die the first time if you're not careful. But that's a lot. This is a lot easier. Here's the power. That is a fucked ass labyrinth. Why, Rachel? Why? Even made a grave for you and everything. Can't you take the hint? She's dumped your ass. Damn. Ray doesn't want your petty grave. Get away, traitor. Grave desecrator, fiend. Rachel. Lose this fiendish ruffian and hop into my grave. What do you say? Hey, if you're obsessed with graves, then how about I bury you first? Oh my god. Good god. I got the perfect one picked out for you. Oh, I almost forgot. I'll seal it up tight, just like you said. My god. Zach really killed him for incel behavior. Honestly, he's valid. That is probably the right way to... That's probably very justified, honestly. And that's that. Okay, let me get back over here. Hey, not bad for a punk kid. Dipshit's 6 feet under, just like you wanted. Fucking smart-ass grave-digging bastard. Something's on the back of this grave. There's a switch that says elevator gate. It's probably the elevator switch. Huh? Ooh. Push it. Okay. Yay! Next floor. Now we should be able to go up. Nice. I wanted to say Zach respects women, but not really. He has no issues with women, he just doesn't respect anyone in general. He just doesn't respect people. It's like... he respects them, but it's also just a general disrespect for and disregard for everyone around him. Yeah. It's like, it's only one person. It's the person he's trying to kill. At least I can say goodbye to this dirt-reeking dump. This is B4, so there's still probably more floor... There's probably still more floors above. Ugh, when will it end? Did I make myself useful to you, sir? Why are you calling him sir, Rachel? You were not calling him sir before. What is the switch up now? Can you quit call- Thank you. Me and Zach are on the same page. It's like, no. That's not it. Can you quit calling me sir? Makes me edgy. How about Isaac? Zach. Call me Zach. Okay. Was I of any use to you, Zach? Just a tiny bit. Oh. Oh, her smile! Look at her. He was like, oh shit, she smiled. Let's get going. Okay. Yay! Alright. Homeboy had a heart attack. Oh! So it's oh! Okay. That's cool. Chapter closed. Oh, nice. This is a good song, I will say. So that makes sense. This makes a lot more sense now. Nice. So it seems like one chapter is about 4-ish hours. 4 to 5-ish hours. Hydrate, thank you. Thoughts so far? I am really liking this. I really like the subtle changes that they have for Rachel when it comes to her demeanor. I like that they also made her learn more about Zach just through like resumes and stuff like that, but that also makes me think, if he can't read and he can't write, then how did someone write a resume about him? Or who wrote a resume about him? Like, who documented all this stuff? Aside from like the whole serial killing thing and stuff like that. I like how they have boss floors. I like Danny for the sense that he's very creepy, and also for the fact that he is like arguably one of the floor masters that I'm like, yeah, he deserves to fucking die. Chapter 2 and 3 are a floor each. Chapter 4 is the last floor, plus them trying to escape the building, plus ending. Oh, okay, so they're a floor each. Okay, so they're a lot shorter than this. So the first chapter was only from B6 to B4. Okay, that's not bad. That's not too bad. This is pretty good. I'm guessing that the floors are going to be a lot longer then. Huh. But I'm really liking this. I also really like the soundtrack. As funny as it is, I think Zach is my favorite out of everyone. Like, I like Rachel, but I think Zach is probably my favorite. He has one brain cell, and he's working overtime to make sure that it's working properly, but that's not even working. But he also is very, very reasonable, surprisingly. So I'm like, huh. Very interesting. Rachel's my favorite, but Zach is the best character in the game. I like Zach. I like him a lot. He's batshit insane, but also he's the character the gamers relate to. Honestly, at some point it started to a straight comment. Yeah, straight up comedy. Yeah. I think this is very funny. Exactly. This is just like the gamer going, what the fuck are they saying? So I should do it. Honestly, he's a whole ass mood. It's like, why are you gonna be in love with this person and be like, yeah, let me kill you? Huh? What do you mean? But I like this so far. I'm enjoying this a lot. So I will, since I am going to be singing a little bit later, I'm gonna go take a break. I'm gonna get some food, a nice drink. I'm gonna get some water. I'm gonna practice a little bit on some songs and also get together all the instruments. there's not gonna be really any like super cool background or anything. I think the best thing that I'll do is be putting on a different reverb. So it'll be pretty nice. But I'm like, It's just something that I've wanted to do for a bit. And I want to get better at singing in front of people and not feeling like I'm clamming up. Because I went to Offkai last year and I clammed up a lot when I was singing, which was unfortunate because I had songs that I knew how to sing, but it was just very difficult for me to sing it. So I want to get a little bit better at it. So practicing karaoke is going to be one of the more exposure things that I need to do. Because it's one thing to be singing with like an entire choir, it's another thing to be singing in front of people by yourself, you know? But yeah, I had fun with this. I'm excited. I'm gonna put this on the schedule for next week as well. See you guys later. I love you all. Yeah. I'll see you guys in like 3 hours. A little bit less than 3 hours, so yeah, we'll have a fun time with karaoke. I am not gonna raid you guys into anyone because I'm gonna just drag you guys back here in a couple hours, so I'll see you guys then. Bye bye. Oh, that was a voice crack. Excuse me. But bye bye. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Bye bye.